It's Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Time for a fireside chat with Dizzy. I've got a fuzzy little puppy in the tent behind me, sleeping on my bed. The horses are in the round pen. They have been fed. I put Misty's trail halter on her because I am going to be riding her later. Got my fire going, got water on to boil so I can make my coffee. And of course I do have to heat up my breakfast. And as you can probably tell, since just talking about a tent and having a fire and being morning, yes, I slept out at the farm last night. Not sure how cold it got, but I was really wishing when I got up that I had put my clothes in the foot of my sleeping bag because they were cold when I got dressed this morning. But I survived. And fire that's burning is some of the 2x4s that I cut up. Okay, I'm seeing shadows. I think that's from the horses in the field behind me. I cut them with the miter saw, and it was so easy. Took hardly any time at all. I have a whole bunch more to cut up, and that's how I'll be cutting them as well. And back wearing a brace on my wrist, it's really been bothering me. I'm debating on whether or not I want to go see the doctor again, get another cortisone shot. The one thing I don't want to hear is operation. My other wrist is bothering me some as well, not as much. So I know I have a spare brace for that wrist out here. I might put that on before I start doing any work. Again, I'm not really planning on doing a lot of hard work today. I'm basically planning on getting the outside of the outhouse painted, and depending on how, when I get that done, I might even be able to put the roof on and do the floor today. And then it would just leave the doorknob to put on. I'm hearing horses in the other field. They're banging on stuff. I think they're trying to tell me to feed them. Like I said, these guys have been fed. They're enjoying being in the round pen. I have started putting out hay for them, not a whole lot, because we have not been getting rain, and at least not much. Now let's see. Didn't really work with the horses this past week because it was a crazy week weather-wise. I'll talk about that in a minute. I did have a lesson with Misty on Thursday, and I did something different. I will at times out on the lesson, because the lessons are all out on the trails and the cross-country course. She has some logs down on the ground where you can either jump over them, or I've been working on walking over them. Well, this time I decided that I was going to try trotting over them. Well, the next thing I knew, we were jumping. I have a way to go to get to where I'm doing it properly, sitting properly when I land and everything. But I had to admit, I kind of enjoyed that. The main problem I had was Misty at times wanting to duck out on them. And my instructor looked at how the bit was, and she thinks that I need to tighten it up on her a little bit. So I'm going to try that this morning. This will be the first that I've ridden her since that lesson. So anytime I'm going to be trying something new with her, I always try it in the round pen first because it's a confined space. And we'll see how she does with that. Licorice I did not work with at all. I'd been going to, but like I said, this past week was kind of messed up with weather. Tuesday morning I got up, I was going to come out, I was going to, of course, clean out the field and everything, and looked at the forecast. They'd been calling for possibility of showers late in the day. Well, now they were calling for showers early in the day, and when I looked at the radar on the Weather Channel, it showed that this area was getting a lot of rain. And I didn't want to come out in the rain, so I waited until a bit later in the day. I get out here. It had hardly rained at all, so I was able to go ahead and get the field all cleaned up with no problem whatsoever. But like I said, I got out here late, so it didn't really leave me time to do anything else. So I got out late, got everything done late, I left late. And while I was driving out, I got a call. I had ordered a new pair of boots since my one has a hole in the bottom. I couldn't find them in any of the stores, and the one store said, well, they'd order them in for me. So I go in on Wednesday to try them on, and after I left the farm, and again, it was trying to rain that day. I don't remember if I got anything done at the farm or not. I get out and I go to try the boots on. Well, your feet can apparently grow once you get older, not necessarily grow more, it's like your arch kind of falls some. So the boots did not fit. They were a half size too small. They measured my feet to make sure, and supposed to be getting the ones in this week, so I will be going and getting them when they call. I do have a lesson on Wednesday, so if they call on Tuesday or Wednesday, I won't be able to get them until Thursday. But that's where I am with that. Let's see. House, I've come to the conclusion that what I need to do for both inside and outside the house is I need to start making a list every morning and put down times of when I'm planning on doing things, unless of course I am camping out at night, then yeah, that doesn't necessarily work. But I didn't really get anything done. Part of it was the weather. When it just was cloudy Tuesday and Wednesday with the threatened rain, and I admittedly don't get a lot done when it's like that. For some reason, it just really saps all my energy. Then we had a return to summer, which also saps my energy. So I am going to start making a list every day of what I need to get done. I do better with that sort of thing because it makes me accountable for what I get done. And I think that's about it. One thing I did do last week when I camped out, I had brought foil with me so I could wrap up my breakfast and heat it up. Callie had gotten a hold of the foil and she chewed it up, and I couldn't really heat my breakfast up properly, so it was partially cold. I just tried to heat it up on a plate and it kind of stuck to the plate, and so I went out and I bought a small thing of foil which I brought out to the farm, and that's staying out here. So I used that, wrapped up the ribs that I brought with me and had them yesterday, and I'm going to wrap up my egg muffins, whatever you want to call them, and let them heat up. And once I have breakfast, I have my devotions, and I'm going to go and feed everybody else and then get to work, and I'll talk at you later.